Okay.
Ow.
Okay, and we are live.
Kathryn, we can send you some.
Oh my gosh, please do. Thank you. Okay. Well, hello everyone. Almost said good evening. It's the middle of the afternoon in California. So hi everybody, and thank you for tuning in with us today. My name is Kathryn Hecht. I'm the Executive Director of the Alexander Valley Film Society, and today I am moderating a Q&A with a couple of filmmakers. We have Kevin, I didn't even ask you, is it Kevin Staake?
That's close enough, yeah.
Okay, Kevin Staake, and then we have Brandon Laganke and John Carlucci.
Got it.
Okay, so before we get started, a couple of announcements. First of all, it's been a heck of a year. So to all of our donors and sponsors who have stuck with us and made this year's festival possible, good on you, thank you. Thanks for keeping film alive, the media arts alive here in Northern Sonoma County. As you know, the work we do here is really important, and it's so great to be able to introduce these folks to our rural community. Okay, so the Alexander Valley Film Society wants to recognize that we are on unceded lands of the Coast Miwok, Pomo, and Wapo. We respectfully acknowledge the Indigenous people who have lived here for thousands of years and who continue to contribute in meaningful ways to their communities and our society as a whole. Our shared history includes the genocide, forced removal, and ethnic cleansing of Indigenous people. AVFS is committed to centering Indigenous voices and stories to recognize the past and celebrate the resiliency of Native people and their culture. Our deepest thanks go to Nikki Myers-Lim and the California Indian Museum and Cultural Center, as well as Clint McKay from the Pepperwood Preserve for their assistance with this acknowledgement. You can learn more on our website on avfilmsociety.org/equity. If you need tech assistance at any point during the festival, please head to our website at avfilmsociety.org/FAQ for live chat support. We also have closed captioning, auto live closed captioning available. If you'd like to toggle that on, it's the CC at the bottom of your screen. It's a great thing about virtual screenings is accessibility. And we've disabled the Q&A so we don't have any windows popping up. If you have questions for our guest today, just pop them into the chat and we'll get to them if we have time at the end of our discussion. And as always, no racism, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, or hate speech will be tolerated. This is a safe space for everyone to celebrate film, artists, and the stories they tell. Okay. So with all of that said, I am so excited to welcome our guests here today. Hello and welcome. So just quickly around the horn, I had a chance to speak briefly with Brandon. Brandon, you're calling in from West Orange, New Jersey, right?
That's right.
And Kevin, where are you contacting us from?
I'm in Central Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Are you from there? Is that where you're working right now?
I'm actually from Cape Cod. I'm just visiting girlfriend right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And John, you're on mute with a beer.
You're on mute, John.
Sorry about that. I think I might be directly south of Kevin. I'm in a town called Essex, Connecticut.
Where, Connecticut? Say it again.
Essex, Connecticut.
Oh, Essex.
Oh, wow. I think that is pretty close. I'm in Webster, outside Worcester.
Yeah, I'll come up and see you. I'll be up there in a second.
The closed captioning said Worcester, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. That's usually...
I'm fascinated by this. I have it on. It's really cool.
It's, it is cool. It's I think it's like in the 80th percentile correct, but correct.
Oh, that is cool.
Correct enough to at least make a difference. So
yeah, I'm an hour.
So we're in California, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but the first thing I wanted to talk about is so these films got paired together because there is a certain It's almost bordering on lowbrow humor, but really character-driven stories. And it's really fun to kind of take a narrative to the edge like that. And as an audience member, to really feel trusted to go to the edge like that as a viewer. So I wanted to start there in terms of how the stories took shape. I know, Brandon, you and John have worked together in had multiple forays, so to speak. But how did you start working together? And then this particular story, why now? And I know we're like a year behind, but we'll get to that later. So how you started working together and how this story came to be.
Yeah, so John, I got to turn this closed captioning off. I'm just gonna like be reading it as I'm closed cat. Okay, sorry, let me turn this off. Actually, don't know how to turn it off. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, John and I met at an ad agency in Manhattan. Actually, we used to work together, and John was sort of thrown into my office because I had like I was doing editing and stuff, and we just kind of hit it off and started making short films and music videos and on the side, with, you know, nights and weekends, sort of, as they say, 5 to 9. And our first thing that we made was a music video that went to South by Southwest. So you know, we premiered, well, not really, but we were going to premiere Drunk Bus at South by, so it's a full circle kind of a thing for us. But yeah, we were like, all right, maybe we have something, you know, good here, and we should continue the relationship. And we just kept going, and we've been doing it for, I don't know, what 10 years now, John?
I think it's like 11 or 12.
11, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been a long time, and we make a lot of like up until now we've been making commercials. We're commercial directors, so that's kind of how we make our money. But so we've been doing a lot of that. But as far as the story comes along, there was a time where we were like, all right, we really want to stop making baby diaper commercials. We've never made a baby diaper commercial. I just use that as a reference because it seems like it's an awful thing. Oh yeah, I actually have. You're right, I have. Well, it wasn't a diaper. Well, whatever. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, so there was a point where we were like, all right, we really should make a feature. We should focus on that, and we just kind of made that our focus and started writing with a screenwriter friend of ours named Chris Molinaro. And I would always tell John about this job that I had at Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, driving the drunk bus.
This is you.
So this comes from a real place. And I would tell John, like, oh, it's a really cool contained story, kind of like our elevator pitch for it was like Clerks on a Bus is kind of how we were trying to pitch it. But you know, because the revolving door of characters and the occupation. I'm doing a lot of talking. I don't know, John, do you want to pick it up from here?
Yeah, I'll come in. I'll just say that the closed caption translated to Sharks on a Bus. So
Perfect.
Yeah, so it was just, we were at a point where it was time to start thinking about our first movie. We had some horror ideas. We always gravitated towards comedy. And with these stories in mind, it was like, dude, why not make that our fucking first film? And, you know, it was a very easy thing to pitch. As, you know, Brandon said, Clerks on a Bus, gave the idea to Chris, our writer, and we just started bouncing these drafts back and forth. And that was about 7 years ago when we first started the inception. It took 5 years to make, and now it's 2 years later after it's been made. So, and it drops on May 21st. So mark your
know. May 21st.
Nice plug.
There it is, official. And so going back to part of this story, so this was an official selection in South by last year. Do you remember, because I remember the moment, do you remember the moment you got the call or you saw the tweet that it was not going to happen?
Very well. I'll take this one. So, and actually, I know Kevin probably has a similar story. because all three of us were supposed to be at South by. So my sister lives in Austin, and you know, it was going to be a huge homecoming for us. As Brandon said, it was 10 years to the festival of coming back with our first feature. And you know, we had lots of friends and family that were going to come out. And I was watching the mayor of Austin give a live press conference.
Mm.
I knew it was coming. I just knew,
Yeah.
watching the temperature of everything of the days leading up to it.
Yeah.
You know, my heart was saying, we're not going to cancel, but I knew it was coming. And they just said, we're going to, you know, however he phrased it, we're canceling it. And it was just like, and I was here at my folks' place and they were gutted for me. And I was just like, I don't remember. I remember I walked outside and I don't remember what afterwards. It was very, it was a real gut punch for about a week. And then when you saw what was really happening, it was like, okay, this is something way worse than we could have imagined. So,
but we had like a really great premiere. We had a red carpet, you know, all of our cast, including Will Forte, was going to come. You know, we made all this merch. We made soap for everybody in the audience. We made shot glasses, stickers. I have pineapple CBD gummies.
Because
We're going to be giving away this stuff on our Instagram, by the way,
good.
like a little promotion thing. But yeah, so it was going to be, and then we had like a party afterwards that was going to be like you're going to have like, I don't know. It was just, we still have not yet seen this movie in a theater.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And Kathy, we didn't know
Yeah.
you at the time, but you know, we'll go back in time and invite you to the party. You know, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin. So Kevin's short Greenhorn is paired with this film, and Kevin's short Diorama also came to the Alexander Valley Film Festival post South by's announcement. So welcome back, Kevin, alum, or I should say it's great to have you here for the first time, but it's great to have you back in the festival. So can you tell a little bit about, let's start with this particular moment for you, and then we'll go back to the origin story. So do you remember what you were doing when you heard the announcement?
Yeah, I think we were just sort of just watching updates online, and you know, I was definitely more focused on like, is South by gonna happen or not, versus like, are we going to, you know, plunge into a global pandemic?
Totally.
And yeah, it definitely sucked hearing, because I think it was like the first one. It was at like the beginning of like hearing about like, you know, like Coachella and like all these other festivals that. So I feel like we just got in that first round of cancellations.
Yeah, we were the first domino for
Yeah,
sure.
the
Yeah,
first
right.
world domino, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay, so Diorama then goes on and has a pretty healthy festival run from what I can tell. So then what about Greenhorn? When did you make this?
that was in New York in July, in the midst of the pandemic, and you know, with all the masks and everything, and being in the woods, and it was super sweaty and buggy and everything. But yeah, that was more like a self-funded you know, endeavor, separate from Diorama. Diorama had some funding, but yeah, that was just a smaller one, about a dozen people all together. And yeah.
And where'd the idea for this story come from?
I had been thinking about just wanting to kind of connect. I thought about this idea of someone just like coming out of almost like creating this world of potentially, you know, World War II era, potentially France, and all you'd really need to create that, ideally, if it comes across as like one character and essentially vegetation, and really you don't need much beyond that. And I thought it would just be fun to like really lead the audience down this path of like some sort of dramatic thriller, just desperate, lost in the woods type situation, and just like completely flip it into this modern story. And also realized I could show like parallels of signs of that appear to be signs of a war zone, but that have a I guess another version of them that can totally be modern, which is like signs of like a wildfire. And it all started happening as it was basically like being finally cut and colored and sound designed like as all the wildfires were happening in California. So it was like a really unfortunate, like became a really unfortunate timely thing. Yeah, that's sort of how it came together.
Yeah. We definitely noticed that, it was poignant in that respect. So going back to John and Brandon for just a second. So you guys meet at an ad agency a dozen years ago, and there's something between the two of you that sparks it. You've got the same sense of humor, or yin and yang or something. So these projects start rolling out. And one I want to touch on, is it drone boning? I'd like to hear about drone boning, if you don't mind.
Sure.
No, we actually haven't spoken about it in a long time.
Happy to facilitate. Happy to.
What do you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what the F. I mean, what? So, okay, so we're because to me, I feel like when I watched that, I think that is like the perfect precursor to this film, because it's irreverent, but it's also respectful of the characters in a weird way, and kind of like elevating them. I don't know. Whose idea was that?
It's Brandon's idea.
Yeah, I mean, I was out in Cody, Wyoming on a shoot for Holiday Inn. and we were shooting these like epic, beautiful like drone shots of this like what was he was a what's the guy called, like the
right?
the rodeo clown, like it was just, I hope no one's it was stupid. I'll just say that. It was very dumb. And we were doing these like huge drone shots, and I was looking at these like beautiful drone shots, and I was like, oh man, it would be amazing if people were having sex down there. And that's really it. And then I brought it to John, and he was like, let's go do it. And so we hooked up with a drone team, and we went out to San Francisco.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was all San Francisco, all like the Bay, mostly what's it called across the bridge, over like where the government sites are,
The Marin Headlands.
Marin Headlands. Yeah, it's all mostly over there. We had plans to
They're still after us. Yeah, we won't
get into that, but yeah, we got permits and everything for everything. And we were gonna shoot, like, I don't know, we had big plans. We were like, we're gonna shoot on the bridge. We were gonna go and shoot in Chinatown. We were gonna go to Alcatraz, all this crazy. We didn't do that, but I don't know. And then we put it together. As we were making it, we were like, holy crap, this is really cool. And it's actually like beautiful. And we have, we didn't just do like heterosexuals either. Like we did all types of, like we thought it could make a statement and be interesting. And we, at one moment we were making it, someone was like, what are we doing? Because I think we got a little too close with the camera, and it was like pornography. So then after we made it though, I mean, I was surprised. Like, it went insanely viral. Like, we were on Conan O'Brien, we were on Seth Meyers, we were like TMZ. It just like went everywhere and just got hugely popular. And we were dubbed as the first aerial pornographers in the world by Vice magazine. And then we just I don't know, that's kind of the story, I guess. But it's, John describes it as a beautiful joke, which is kind of what we were trying to make something very funny but beautiful and meaningful at the same time. And that, I think, I like that you said it's a precursor to Drunk Bus, because that's kind of how we approach Drunk Bus, and how we approach a lot of our content actually is kind of like the ridiculous and the crass, potentially, with like actually like a lot of heart and meaning and like real themes, and kind of like jamming those together to make something I think is a genre bender and kind of weird and cool at the same time.
Totally. I love all of that. Genre bender. So Charlie is our lead character. What's the lead character's name again?
Michael.
Michael. I thought that the reveal, and hopefully by now everybody who's going to watch this will have seen the film, but I thought that the revelation that he was a virgin was so smart. It's that same thing of taking the audience to the edge. We have expectations of the characters. We've seen this kind of lo-fi grittiness, like Clerks, right? We've seen this before, but it doesn't take us over the edge. It pulls us back, makes him so human, and then allows for that space for him to have this whole human experience of will he, won't he, how he, will he. And I have to say that I think the introduction of Pineapple is more effective because of that. And that he plays this real counterweight to this purity in a way that is just like a burden. and Pineapple comes in with this, enormous presence, but just starts to balance some of that. So I want to know about casting Pineapple, first of all. I want to know how Michael got involved. I'm sorry, how Charlie got involved. But I also want to know how you found him. And
well, I can answer the Pineapple, and then John, if you want to answer the Charlie. I mean, Pineapple, I was saying earlier that I used to drive the Drunk Bus in college. So it's kind of like, based on that job. But the really cool thing is Pineapple was my security guard at Kent State University. So Pineapple's actually playing himself in the movie.
No.
Yeah, he's the real guy.
Oh my God, I totally missed that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, we don't like advertise it at the top of the movie, I guess. But well, actually we kind of do. That's why we say it's based on real shit, because a lot of it's
oh, that is fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, so we had to, there was definitely a period where we were like, all right, who are we gonna cast? Who are we gonna put in face paint? Who are we gonna, because like he's not an actor, and he has like 271 lines of dialogue, at least in the script version of it. So we were like, there's no way, like if he's not good, the movie's gonna suck. So we were like, all right, who are we gonna, and then we just kind of went through a lot of casting and thinking about, who are we going to put in face paint? And we were just like, no, we got to do the real thing. So we worked with Pineapple for years. He worked on the script with us, make sure the dialogue was of his, of how he would say it. We gave him an acting coach who actually, oddly, his name is Mark Raprelli, and he was the militant dad in Boyhood. He lives in Austin, Texas, where Pineapple lives, and we hooked them up, and he became a great asset to us and to Pineapple. And the real magic is when we put him with Charlie Tahan, who plays Michael, and we put them together for the rehearsals. Charlie is just such an amazing actor that Pineapple just fed off of that, and the chemistry when we saw it, we were like, all right, we have a movie. So we I guess just like, and even when we got on set, working with Pineapple, and sometimes I had to say, no, say it like this, not like that. Like we had to kind of like actually, really direct them sometimes, but sometimes we just kind of sat back like you do with great actors. And he got better and better each day. It was a 25-day shoot. And like by the last day, it was just like, easy. So he's the real guy.
Did he remember you?
Oh, I've been in contact with him.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, we're friends. We're not like I didn't just call him up and say, hey, can I exploit you in a movie? It was yeah, we've been friends since we met freshman year of college, which was a long time ago. It's 2000, I don't know, 3, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Charlie, you know, when we first got this movie started, we had a different director, sorry, different DP, different lead, we were trying to get the whole thing shot in Ohio.
Wow.
And we had a different lead actor, and the whole thing went on kind of a deep freeze. And we thought it was kind of like stagnant and dead in the water. And it was the summer that the first season of Ozark came out, and we were starting to like, we couldn't move forward until this lead officially passed on us. So we're kind of like stuck, but we were thinking about, oh, who can we go out to? We had a great casting agent was like, oh, there's this up and coming guy named Timothy Chalamet. And we were like, nah.
Yeah, we passed on Timothy Chalamet.
But it's fun. Charlie,
That's
so
great.
the point of this is, you know, I remember seeing the billboard for Ozark. I thought it was a sci-fi show. And I was like, it's interesting. And I put it on. I was hooked immediately.
Totally.
And then I think like 3 or 4 episodes in, they moved down to the Ozarks. And there's this tall, you know, lanky, kind of awkward, adorable, smart looking kid who fit Michael. And I literally was like, oh my God, he would be a perfect Michael. It's too bad we can't reach out to this guy because we're stuck. And then his name came up about a year later. We sent him the script, and we were coming back from a job that was very far overseas. And when we landed in a place where we had Wi-Fi, we got slammed with all these emails, and it was like, Charlie Tahan loves the script. So we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And we met with him in Manhattan. And, you know, the thing with Charlie is he's a really, really funny kid. And he does all this dark sort of like, you know, and he wanted to break out of that. He really resonated with the material. He laughed a lot. He got, I mean, the thing is, as you were saying earlier, it does kind of like, it's lowbrow. It is lowbrow, but it's like, there's a specific way that we present it. And we needed someone to get those jokes, and Charlie got all those jokes. And he's, once we started working with him, he's a very smart, physical, comedic actor. So his body language is very, he's very animated. And I think he really wanted to just kind of break out and do something in the comic space. And yeah, it worked. And his chemistry with Pineapple was very palpable. And he's a very smart actor in the sense that he knows how to, he's a kind of actor that you don't really have to, you know, direct too much. He gets it right away. But he was really smart in leading Pineapple on a path. He knew how to sort of direct from the actor's perspective, if that makes sense. You know, he knew how to bring him along and set him up to succeed.
There was also times where he'd say, I'm not saying that, which I really appreciate. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's crap dialogue.
Yes, Chris.
Well, no, it's not reflective on him. It's just like, you know, things are different when you're shooting. Like the script is the script is a blueprint. It's not, you know.
And I mean, this guy, he's like 23 years old. So he must have been 21 at the time.
He's 21.
Yeah. He was 20 because he turned 21 after we finished shooting.
That's amazing.
But he's like a 40-year-old man trapped in a 20-year-old's body. He has a very like old soul personality, and he's got a great context of movies. And one of the greatest things about working in this business is when you have that sort of that vernacular, or that you speak another language, which is in movie quotes. Yeah. And he knows all the classics, and he would drop things and we're like, oh dude, you know. He's a lot of
But
fun to work.
but really smart. Like I think the best actors are just super intelligent people. I mean, our Kara Hayward, who plays Catch. I mean, she's a member of I'm sorry, what is it? Mensa. Yeah, she's Mensa member. I mean, she's like these just like really smart people, you know. And I think that definitely translates to how you know, acting is very tough, and it's like you just have to be very intelligent to be really good at that, I think, and Charlie is, and so is Kara.
Yeah, I could talk to you.
Pineapple's not. No, I'm just joking.
I mean, I seriously, I could sit here and talk to you about this for hours. There's so much in here to mine, and I think for me, what resonated the most is I could tell once I had seen the film and I started putting together some research on your history as artists and filmmakers and seeing some of the other stuff. Like the partnership that you have really comes through. You work well together. There's like the team that you put together just really seemed to get it. So kudos to you, and I hope that the film just has a hugely long and vibrant life. And Kevin, I want to go back to you for a second, and then we'll kind of do a round robin wrap it up. What kind of stuff? So this was a little project for you. What other kind of stuff are you working on now?
I have another short that I'm in like later drafts of, and like trying to get funding for, potentially some more self-funding or outside. It is set in space, because I just wanted to make it really cheap, you know, really easy to make. So I chose like a set build that's like kind of complex. But yeah, I'm working on features and pilots and stuff, and trying to sort of get into that sort of tier, while also just like trying to figure out the short film area and actually execute on short films while looking ahead to bigger stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Please keep at it. You're really good at it.
Thanks.
Yeah. And Brandon and John, how about you guys? What's next?
We are pitching a lot of things. We're reading some scripts. You know, the pandemic shutdown was kind of an opportunity to just focus on all the things that we said, oh, you know, wish we had the time to work on that. So yeah, you know, we're working on another dramedy that's sort of a historic sports thing. We have like a comedy horror show. I mean, we have two different tastes, so we're always kind of cooking things in various spaces that are either separate from themselves or they genre bend again. So yeah, nothing no wheels are moving yet. We're all in like pitch phase of things, both film and TV and even some doc stuff. So we're just trying to get those pitches right, you know?
Yep. Anything to add there, Brandon?
No, I mean, I was trying to think of a joke to end on, like, I'm gonna do another Holiday Inn commercial, or I don't know, drone boning 2 or something. But sadly, none of those are happening.
We're gonna try and make Drunk Bus 2 and Drone Boning 2 in the same. Yeah.
Perfect.
John just made a short film, or he just wrapped up on. You can.
Yeah, I kind of took the opportunity to just, if I don't do it, it's never going to happen. It's something I wrote about 10 years ago. It's like a historic Civil War type thing that stars Liam Aiken, who you might remember from Lemony Snicket and Stepmom. He's another guy that's been acting since he was a kid. He actually lives like a minute away from me where I was quarantining. So we just kind of met, like, dude, you want to make something? And we made this thing. So it's kind of like a horror thriller type short post-Civil War thing. So that's being cut right now. And it also stars this really awesome young talent named Peter McPoland, who's a singer, and he's never acted before, and he did a really great job. So
we should watch Greenhorn. I haven't seen it. It sounded like there was a little bit of similar vibe there with a war in
yeah, when you started saying
the woods. I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll watch
It's a
it.
different
Kevin.
era. Cool.
well,
Mhm.
it's
Different.
funny
Yeah.
because I think they're actually.
But you
they
don't
might
know
be
that.
What's that?
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say it's a different era, but you don't know that. Oh, well, no, I guess you do.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
A
It
little
sounds
bit.
I mean,
yours-
I'm looking
yours
at the
is more-
still. It's definitely like World War II.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
yours sounds more vegetarian friendly. Mine is the other. It's very carnivore friendly.
Hey, don't ruin the ending.
Without
for
saying
Yeah,
too
everybody.
come on.
now, you got to go see it.
Mhm.
Maybe it'll be at your festival next year.
I love it. Well,
The
listen.
only thing I would say, well, I'm sorry, one last thing I want to just add is, if anyone didn't see the movie for any reason, I don't know why you're part of this if you didn't see it, but it comes out on May 21st, VOD, and also virtual theaters. I'm not really entirely sure what that means, but you can go to FilmRise website and they have a listings of like actual screenings, and in case you want to watch it again. I don't know.
I
You
see
know-
that
Watch it.
one has a question.
I was just gonna say, if you have a couple more minutes, we do have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Ethan is asking just some of the biggest takeaways that you learned through the process of shooting your films. And let's stick with the most current. So Drunk Bus and Greenhorn. Takeaways.
Kevin, you go. We've been talking way.
Taking away
Trying
from
to put
that.
you on the spot there.
No, it's okay. I don't know. For me, it was just honestly a gratefulness, I think, to the like cast and crew, and just because like doing short films, like it is so much just like giving and just like people just giving themselves, like it's no money, it's going into OT and then just looking around and everyone's just like, yeah, it's okay. And like there's
Yeah.
I think after that and just getting locations for free and all that stuff, I think it was definitely like pulled at the heartstrings after wrapping and just being like, damn, that was like 90%, 10% money, 90% like heart. And yeah, so for that one in particular, I was just super grateful.
Yeah, that's a really great. That's a great one. I can. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean I feel like anything after that is kind of trite.
Yeah.
I mean, from a production creative standpoint, I think the biggest takeaway might be just be, like we had to make so many concessions leading up to, but also even on the day of, like, hey guys, we lost the location. We shoot tomorrow. What are we doing? Luckily, we had Chris, our writer, with us on location the whole time. So there were a couple of nights where we would just like go to our hotel room and we would just work out the scene. We'd act it out and be like, wait, that doesn't make sense because this just happened and blah, blah, blah. We had to like do a lot of pivoting sometimes. So, just be prepared to have to, free jazz a little bit. And then also, yeah, I don't know, like preparedness is so important. Like we had so much time to work with the script. We knew the dialogue and the characters and the scenes very well, which helped a lot during the process. So that always helps. I mean, essentially, it's at the end of the day, you're making a movie about people. These are people that are for whatever intents and purposes are real. They're when you write them, you give birth to a little person, and like you have to honor their character and make it as true as possible for that character, and hopefully that resonates the most. So just always always keep that in mind. You know, Brandon, do you have anything to?
I mean, yeah, we learned. I mean, I learned a lot. I learned that you can, if you don't get something, you can just punt it to the next day. But you know, with a short, going off of, you know, making music videos and short films for so many years, you usually have like one day, really, maybe a couple days, and you just like, you have your scenes and you shoot them, and you're like, and then you go drink and you're like, oh my god, we just made a viral movie.
Always.
Yeah, it's the best. The end of the day is always like, oh my god, I just made an Oscar winning, and then you see the edit. But yeah, I think, like, you know, it's like chipping away. Like a feature is just chipping away at little scenes, and just like, and I think the thing that I learned personally is I come from editing. You know, I was an editor for many years, and I think that really helped me on the production, because I knew what we needed and I knew what we didn't. So John mentioned concessions, like daily. No matter, I don't really think it matters what your budget is. Actually, you're always going to make some sort of concession, and you have to figure out how to, you know, change and still have, you know, not lose the integrity of what you want or what you envisioned. So like, I was cutting the movie in my head, and I was like, yeah, we don't need that. Let's move on. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need to actually shoot that, or this take is good because we're going to use it. You know, so actually having an editor's brain, I think, is really, I think it's important to know like how it's going to eventually be, you know, come together, and that also helps you with flow and you know, figuring out when we're doing the shot listing. They're always like our shot lists is basically an edit. It looks like an edit. It's like cut to, and so it just kind of, everything kind of flows. So yeah, that's the big thing I took away, I guess, is concessions and knowing how to pivot, and I don't know, a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, well, you
Wait.
mentioned preparation too.
Yeah, I mean, we have we actually built a bus in our hotel. We have like a conference center that was like our prep office, and we kind of took over this whole. That's the whole other story. in Rochester, New York. But we actually built a bus with like conference chairs, and we shot listed in with our DP. We shot listed in that room, and we planned out the whole bus, how it looked. So we had it down, you know, like we knew exactly every angle, and we had to too, because more than half the movie was shot on a stage. I don't think people really know that, actually. It's that's what saved us a lot from because it was like 12 below zero or something. So like every time the camera was facing the actors, facing inside the bus was a stage, and every time the reverse shot was on location. So we actually had, it was really complicated because we had to break up scenes. Like, you don't want to break up scenes. So because of that, we had to have a sick AD, and he was like amazing.
He was a lifesaver.
So yeah, that's a whole other, I can go long on that, but
his name is Brian O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan, sorry. He knew the script backwards. Like, we'd be like, what are we shooting next? He'd be like, this is scene 46 where this happens. We're like, oh yeah, right. His strip boards are amazing. He was essential to that whole process. He was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're getting into some of the nitty gritty now, and I know.
Yeah, I was remembering that the whole, like, we're in a conference room. We have all these chairs. We actually didn't have our bus yet. That was the one thing I think we shot in a week, and we still didn't have our bus. We were freaking the fuck out because, I mean, it's called Drunk Bus. It's not, you know, obviously. So we're like, we have all these chairs. We need to like start blocking and figure out, let's just make a bus in this giant room. And we counted out all the seats. We had all the chairs. We spaced them perfectly. We made a driver's seat, and it was very,
but there's some concessions that you don't and you shouldn't make. Like we were told, you guys, how about this bus? And it was like a school bus. How about this bus? And it wasn't the right bus. And John and I are like, no, it has to be this bus. And you have to go to Altoona, Pennsylvania, and you have to go get it tonight. And we bid on it and we got it. We actually got 4 of them. Because we needed a stage one, and we needed because we ripped out the whole front of the bus to be able to shoot through it. We had to shoot this way and that, so we kind of destroyed this bus. So we needed a couple of them, but we did not back down on that one. We were like, it's got to be this bus. And
that was a process. Like we couldn't just go to any city or state and say, hey, we want to buy these decommissioned buses. They legally have to auction them off. So we found the buses we need. They were based on the buses that we scouted on in Kent, Ohio, that Brandon actually drove. The same, because we'd scouted for so many years, we knew exactly this is the bus we want, and it's perfect. So we finally found them in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and we couldn't just go with a briefcase full of cash and be like, we want those 4 buses. They're like, no, you have to do the auction process. So we kind of went in like ruthlessly. We all had different usernames. It was like an eBay scam. We were just all bidding, and like we eventually
nerve-wracking.
Oh my God, so stressful.
Yeah.
So stressful.
Like if we don't get this bus, we're gonna have to shoot it on some shitty school bus, which we still don't have, and we shoot next week. So when the bus rolled into town, bananas. It was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, this is gold.
We have more. We have more. I'll just say this. I drove the bus out of Rochester myself, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Just think about what could have happened there.
Oh, you guys, this is so great. And you know, I just want to let you know, part of why this is so great is this is our first year that we've collaborated with the local junior college, who has an incredible short film festival that they've done for many, many years, really high quality. But for our festival, this is the first time that a lot of students have seen the work that we're bringing into the community. And being able to go back and listen to this conversation and hear some of these gems is really helpful. Because I know one of that they talk about preparation a lot. They talk about storyboarding and talking about editing and how you prepare, thinking about that before you shoot and all that stuff. And to have an example of your film and then to hear it kind of from the horse's mouth, so to speak, is really important. So good on you. Thank you.
That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
we're always down to, that's been part of this process, which has been really cool, is we've had some screenings with some universities, and then we get on these with students who can ask questions, and we're always down to, talk to students.
Awesome. Well, please, you know what? We'll stay in touch. And if not now, soon. Come back, come see us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good to have you here. Thank you. Good luck. May your films expand and see many lights of day. And I hope we'll see you at the festival in person at some point.
I'm going to submit my short. You better
do it. All right, y'all, take good care.
It's called Greenhorn.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.